team.
Hey there, this is Malorian, and this is the Orc Tactical Team. And this question here comes from John Ryan, and he asks, Malorian, what's really the psychology behind battle reporters? And more importantly, why do they decide to go away and even delete their channel? And this can be something that as a viewer, it's really frustrating because you're watching this person, it almost becomes part of your schedule, and they just disappear, and there's no rhyme or reason. They're just gone, and you're kind of left wondering what's the reasoning behind this. I guess the best way to kind of describe this is kind of more coming from my side and how I got into it and my psychology basically going through it. And sorry about my throat, it's kind of dying on me. Anyway, I first started getting into Warseer, and through there, I love going into the tactic threads because I love tactics, and I really love talking with other people, and probably part of it too is actually showing off. Like, you know what? Your idea is wrong. This is actually right. Here's the math that explains it. But it gets to a point too where you're doing it to help people, right? You're really doing this where it's not a thing where you're always just bragging, right? It makes you feel good sometimes when you are right, but it also makes you feel good when you got this new player and he's asking, what's the best way to do this? And you say, well, here's a few options. Or they ask you, what do you think about this list? And you say, well, this is good and this is good for this situation, but you might want to look into this and this. And there's also that good tingly feeling of, hey, I helped out somebody. As far as the battle reports go, I first started with typing them up. And my first reasoning for doing this was for myself. I would keep a track. It was more to say, what's my win record? And then I could go back and see what games I won, what games I lost, and then try and break down and self-analyze what's my strengths, what are my weaknesses so I can get better. Originally, it was almost like a self-diary that I'd fill in, and eventually I started typing onto Warseer. And the great thing I got from this is that not only would I have people that would be appreciating my work, but I also got to learn even more. Because people will say, like, whoa, you screwed that up, Malorian. This rule actually works like this. Or, why did you do this? Because don't you know that this rule could also mean that you could do this? So it actually made me stronger as a player, and there's a lot to be gained there. Later on, thanks to the pioneering of people like Once Bitten, I got into YouTube, and I started putting stuff onto there. Now, it gets to a point where once you are known for making battle reports, and you're more of a public face, that there's almost a responsibility saying, I need to get stuff out there because people want this here and here. They want to have this report every week. Or if you're someone who's known for winning, you're like, I got to win this. There's a lot of pressure on there. One of the best things I ever did for myself is I stopped keeping track of my wins and losses because it used to be a very big deal. I seem to remember that at one point I was somewhere around 32 wins and 2 losses with my Bretonians. So if I ever got another win, throw it to the top of the pile. If I ever lost, that's a big deal. So as soon as I stopped keeping track, that was great. But at the same time, it's not just personal, it's also sharing, right? When I was on my campaign to prove that back in 7th, Orcs and Goblins were still a good army, if I ever lost, it was not just a thing where people might strike it against me as a player, it's a strike against my theory and my beliefs and my tactics. Now, going back with Warseer, there were a lot of other people there that were really big names. And all of a sudden, they'd just be gone. And sometimes it was because they broke some rule. They were swearing, they were doing whatever, and they'd be removed. And everybody wants to know, like, what happened to this person? What happened to this person? And of course, there's a policy where they don't tell you, but I had it in one case where one of the admins said, I can't tell you, but also keep in mind that some of these people volunteer and ask saying, please just delete my account. And this didn't make any sense to me. Like, why would you do this? And they kind of gave one reasoning saying, well, some people, they just need to focus. I would get a lot of questions, and there was that big responsibility where you need to go on there, and I got to be going through the Tactica forums to make sure to be helping everybody else. My inbox to be filling up with people like, hey, what do you think of this army? I'm going to be playing this. What type of tactics should I use? So it takes up a lot of time. And so some people people, let's say they're going into their final year of their degree or whatever it is, and they're saying, you know what, I just don't have time to deal with this. Can you just let's say temporarily ban or disable my account for say a year, and then sometimes they even push it further and say just delete my account. I'm sure you guys have seen this also with things like Facebook. People get too busy with other stuff. They want to make sure that Facebook won't be a distraction, and so they just delete their account. And it's not so much that they want to leave you reeling and like, what happened to this person? It's more that they can't handle those distractions because they need to focus on real life. With that, there's also the whole idea too, where some people want their accounts to be deleted because they want to bow out. But if there's still that user account, that channel, there's now a way for people still to see this and ask the questions. The kind of hope is that if you just kind of like fade off into oblivion, then all of a sudden you can kind of like step out and know that there's lingering questions, right? That's kind of the hope, right? That if I just go, I'll delete my channel, people won't see any stuff from me for a long time, eventually they'll forget me, and I'm not really letting anyone down. It's that whole feeling of responsibility again. I'm not letting anyone down because nobody's even looking for me. They forgot about me. So there's that too. There's also the whole idea where maybe you just don't want to be having all these messages and notifications. For a while there, I couldn't get back to Warseer for a long time just because I was busy with other stuff. And I just kept on getting dings, notifications. Oh, I got this email, I got this email. And I can understand how somebody who does want to get out of it, they don't want to have those notifications anymore. So that's another reason why they delete the account, because hell, I want to get out of this. I don't want anyone bothering me, so I'm just going to shut the door, and I don't want anybody to know how to get to me anymore. You don't know my phone number. You don't know my email. All you can do is message this account. If I delete that account, I'm totally out. Now, this, of course, also translates to the channels, and I gotta say, there has been far too many people over the years that just disappear. And I'm sure it's for many, many reasons. And the sad thing is that sometimes I feel bad because, like I said, where some of them just disappear, when I actually get to that realization, like, wow, I haven't seen any reports from this guy for a long time. Let's go to their channel. And then you realize they haven't posted anything for 2 years. And, you can go on there and you can go on their discussion page, a tab there and say, like, what's going on? You're out of here type thing. And sometimes they'll write back. Sometimes they won't. I've actually tried to use that to try and keep people in. When I see somebody hasn't posted for a few months, I'll go on to there. I'll message like, hey, any more reports coming? What's going on? And then sometimes I'll kind of give them the motivation to come back. Because one of the reasons, too, especially more with a YouTube channel or something like this, is that the responsibility is now being balanced with the effort. And if you don't feel that appreciation, some people will want to walk away for that reason because it's just not worth their time. If they're going to go and spend all the time to take their camera to the events and take the pictures, maybe sometimes then not finishing a game in time because you took that time taking pictures or writing down notes, and then you have to take the time to make the report, clean it up, put on the channel. Well, if you only have like 5 subscribers, you start looking at it like, why do I care about this? I'll just stop posting here because nobody cares. And of course, then there's all the rest of it saying, I just had a baby, so I'm too busy. I'm just not going to post. Or maybe I'm in that last week or the last year, rather, of finals or my degree, so I'm just not going to be doing this now. Or maybe they moved on to new hobbies. I know that people that had like a Warhammer channel, I'll ask them like, well, what happened? Oh, well, we went over and now we're doing Malifaux, or now we're doing Flames of War and all the rest of it. So this is something that's really going all the time. And I guess the best thing you can look at it for is that whenever you see a channel, just go and delete. Sometimes the first thing you want to do is jump to anger, right? Oh, I bet it was Google, right, and YouTube. I bet they screwed him over, and now his account's gone. Or maybe, this guy, he just doesn't even want to bother to post things up. He just deleted his channel. Thanks for just walking out on us and not even saying goodbye. But probably the best thing to do is just kind of look past that and see, like, these people are all people, and they all have lives in the background. They have friends, they have families, they have other things going on, their jobs, and there's probably something else that's pulling them away. I really don't want to name any names here, but there's been the ones that are more recently, people are saying like, oh, well, this person left because their army got screwed over, so they left, or this person just was being mocked, and so you left from this way. It's kind of more of a cowardly thing. Just it's best just to not even go that way. And really, if you want the YouTubers and the people making these battle reports to keep on doing their stuff, the best thing you can do is show them your appreciation. Just simple things of, subscribe to their channel, like their videos, put in a comment. I love seeing the comments on my videos. It means that people are watching them and that they're actually understanding them. It's not like, oh yeah, here's a Malorian video, fast forward to the end, yeah, his troll horde died, okay, close. It makes you feel better that, okay, this person actually watched and it's actually being worthwhile. So, I'm not saying this to draw people into doing more stuff for me. I'm here for the long haul. Don't worry about me. I'm probably going to be doing fantasy until GW wrecked the game or I die type thing. But, if you notice somebody else that's maybe a small channel, make sure to really go in there and to like their videos. If there's somebody there that hasn't posted in a long time, go to the discussion tab on their page or just send them a message and say, hey man, I really enjoyed your reports, but I haven't seen them in a while. Are you still in the game? Because that could be a way to draw them back. I really love to see the community to get bigger and to have more people there. So really, that's it. I don't know how much of tactics that really is, but it's kind of more of a peek into the battle reporter mind, and I hope you liked it. So there you have it. Bye.